So where do the bacteria that we're talking about in terms of the gut microbiota, where do these bacteria come from? They come from the birth canal, they come from breast and bottle feeding, and they come from general exposure to the environment. So this is my granddaughter with her dog, and my kids sent me this picture, and I just cracked up, and I sent back an email to them or text to them, and I said, so I see that you're trying to improve Anna's microbiota. And I think they really were. But this dog is like, obviously like in her face. So this is what happens. Babies come through the birth canal. They are exposed to what other bacteria is in the mother's birth canal. And as the baby leaves the mother's vagina, and then breastfeeding, bottle feeding. And of course, when the babies are born, they're put directly onto the mother's chest. I have a picture that my son was shirtless when the baby was born and was holding her against his skin. So he's also sharing his microbiota with her, which is lovely. If a child is born C-section, then they are still exposed to the bacteria that is in the room. There's bacteria everywhere. It's on everything. If any of you have ever tried to make like overnight oats and you leave it sitting out on the counter, it ferments because there's bacteria in the air. It's landing on the oats and it's fermenting the oats. So in some hospitals, they will swab the mother's birth canal and then swab the baby so that they're already trying to share that bacteria. But really, babies do so much exploring the environment with their hands and their feet and their mouths that they can get the good bacteria even if they are C-section. So don't panic if you've had C-section babies or your grandchildren are C-section babies. Also, same with breastfeeding. Obviously, there's bacteria on the mother's skin. So when she breastfeeds, the baby is getting bacteria that way, but also on the nipples from the bottle, because same thing, the bottles are sitting out, the nipples are sitting out on the counter, and they're gathering bacteria there as well. And then, of course, just general exposure to the environment. Babies are on the floor. They're crawling around. They're putting their hands in their mouth. They're putting their feet in their mouth. They have pets like this dog whose name is Ella. Ella goes out into the backyard, and then Ella comes back in and licks my baby's face, and we're spreading all the bacteria around. So these are all really good things. They help to build that microbiome. A probiotic is the microism that is used to benefit the host. And it's just that simple. So we also can get probiotics from fermented foods. So kimchi, which is a traditional Korean dish, and it's just a lot of vegetables. Usually it's cabbage and radishes and carrots, and they're put in this earthenware. Traditionally, they're put in earthenware and they're put in the ground and they're left to ferment. You can buy it in the grocery store. You can buy it at the Asian markets. There's one brand here that they sell. Can't remember what it's called, but it has a picture of a Asian woman on the front. And it's my favorite because when you open it, you have to open it over the sink because it's so fermented that the bubbles, as soon as you open it up and the oxygen gets in there, the whole thing just sort of bubbles over, and it just makes a mess if you don't do it over the sink. So kimchi, you can even make it at home. I've tried making it at home. It didn't come out very well, so that's why I prefer to buy it. And you can eat that, anytime, but usually like eating it right before a meal can help with digestion. Yogurt, being careful with yogurt because some of our clients are going to want to go for a more sugary version of yogurt, and that would not be helpful. So I'd like for my clients to buy plain yogurt. And I don't care if it's Greek style or if it's European style or just regular yogurt. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's yogurt and it's relatively plain. And then they can do their own sweetening. So they can add their own fruit. They can add some nuts, and they can add a little bit of sweetener. I had a teenager. We were working on some of this one time. And so she was going to go out and she was going to eat some yogurt. And she came back and she said, I just love that yogurt. It was so good. I had the plain yogurt on one side, and it came with this package of M&Ms, and then I could throw the M&Ms in and mix them up. And I said, well, That's great. I'm really happy that you tried yogurt and that you liked it, but we need to back off of the sugar. So we had to kind of backtrack a little. So I've learned to teach my clients to start with the plain yogurt and add the sweetener according to as little as they can add and still enjoy it. Kombucha is a fermented tea drink. You can find it in the refrigerated sections of most any grocery store, and you can also make it at home. I made it at home for years. I've gotten very lazy. The last time I made it, I ended up with a lot of fruit flies in my kitchen, and I didn't want to do it again. But I used to make it. I mean, for years and years and years, I made it. I never had a fruit fly problem. But it actually tastes. It's a whole lot cheaper to make it at home than it is to buy it in the store. Pickles and sauerkraut. The thing about pickles and sauerkraut, you have to be careful of buying it in the refrigerated section versus the shelf, the grocery store shelf, because if you buy it just on the shelf, it's probably not actually fermented. It's probably just got vinegar and some spices in it that helps it to taste like it's fermented, but it's not actually fermented. So you want to go to the refrigerated section where it says brine and spices, and then you know that it's been fermented, and you're going to get that benefit. And then tempeh, which is a fermented tofu product. It's found in the refrigerated section of the store. Grass-fed cheese, either raw or from Europe, and of course you can always take a supplement. This is what tempeh looks like. It comes in this package, and then when you open this outer package there, it's sealed on the inside. So there's another package that you have to cut open. And again, I learned the hard way that you need to coach your clients on how to use this product. It needs to be cooked. You can eat it raw like that, but it doesn't taste very good. So I had a client come in and she said, I tried that stuff and it was nasty. But if you cook it, I didn't think to tell her this. What I do is I just slice it and I put it in a pan with some coconut oil. And then I put a little tamari on top because I'm gluten-free. I don't use soy sauce. And it just takes a second. And then it crisps up. And then I put that on my salad, or you could put it in a lettuce wrap or a sandwich of some sort. So just be sure your clients know that they should cook it in some way before they eat it. This is the kombucha that I buy. And this is obviously a container of yogurt. So diet that helps to support the good bugs, a restricted refined carbohydrates, avoiding things like white flour and white sugar, increasing complex carbs like fresh fruits and vegetables, and fat should be 25 to 35% of one's diet. Healthy fats, including things like nuts and seeds, avocados, coconut oil, olives, and olive oil.